Welcome to the Happy Hormones Coach podcast, your go-to source for all things women's health. I'm here to guide you through the ups and downs of hormonal changes, helping you understand how these shifts impact every aspect of your life. So whether you're in the perimenopause phase or really any other phase of life, looking to improve your overall well-being, or just seeking practical tips on stress management, nutrition, and fitness, then this podcast is for you. Join me as we explore holistic and functional approaches to health, share expert insights from guests, and empower you to feel your best at every stage of life. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to remind you that the information shared in this podcast is for educational purposes only and is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any medical condition. Always consult with your healthcare provider before making any changes to your health regimen. Hey friends, welcome back to the Happy Hormones Coach podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer, and today we're diving into a topic that hits every single one of us, which is stress, unfortunately. Now, before you tune out and think I've heard all the stress talks before, just stay with me, because I'm not here to give you some fluffy affirmations or tell you just to relax. I'm here to call out all the wrong ways that we try to manage stress, especially in perimenopause, and how those ways can silently wreck your hormones, your mood, your energy, and even your waistline. And by the end of this episode, I'm giving you one super simple, no cost, no equipment, 5-minute reset you can use every single day of this week to actually start shifting your stress response. So, let's start with the truth. If you'd asked me years ago if I was quote unquote stressed, I would have said, nope, not at all. I'm fine. I'm just super busy. I'm being productive. But you know what? That phrase, I'm fine, it's usually code for I'm actually drowning, but I don't have the space to deal with it. And then my body started keeping the score. And yes, I reference that book a lot because it's most awesome, and everyone should read it. But basically, I couldn't fall asleep without my mind literally running marathons and keeping me up. My patience was super thin. I was snapping at my husband. I was really short with my baby doggies, and I was just drained. And then my cycle started shifting with heavier bleeding, weird timing, cramps out of nowhere before and after. So stress isn't always the big dramatic breakdown moment. It's the little drips on your system every single day until your body finally goes, hey, if you won't slow down, then I will. So for me, it showed up as hormone chaos for sure, and 2 scary wake-up calls in 1 year, which I've talked about before, which is both of my TIAs. And so for some of my clients, it's weight gain they just can't budge. Chronic fatigue, anxiety, digestive issues, you name it. And your body's stress response is controlled by cortisol. Now, cortisol is not bad. It's there to help you in short bursts. But in perimenopause, you've already got lower progesterone, fluctuating estrogen, and a nervous system that's more sensitive to change, and especially within our body. So chronic stress keeps cortisol levels constantly elevated or constantly depleted, and both are a problem. High cortisol for too long, well, it robs progesterone to keep making more cortisol, and it keeps your body in fat storage mode, especially around the belly. I'm sure you've all heard the term cortisol belly. Well, it also messes with your sleep-wake cycle or your circadian rhythm, so you're tired all day and wired at night. Well, how about low cortisol from burnout? Well, you wake up already exhausted, even after you feel like you've gotten quality sleep or enough hours of sleep, you still wake up exhausted. You can't tolerate exercise without crashing. Your immune system and digestion definitely go off the rails. And, stress is not just mental. It's chemical, it's hormonal, it's physical. It's all the things. So, all right, here's the part where you might feel a little called out. And I know I definitely am in this. I'm constantly, every single day, needing to regulate and manage my nervous system myself. So you are not alone in this.
Here, these are the most common stress relief habits that I see that actually make the problem worse. And this is, I hear this a lot working with clients on a daily. So, the wine glass, wine down, right? Or some kind of like alcoholic drink. One glass turns into two or three, especially when you're cooking dinner. Alcohol spikes and then crashes your blood sugar. It disrupts sleep and fuels inflammation. You wake up more tired, more irritable, and of course, the cycle of stress starts all over again. Now, it's not bad to have, a glass of wine or anything to wind down, but there is a limit. There's a difference. I've seen it. I've heard it to where people, like to cook with a glass of wine, have a glass of wine, and then maybe, after a long stressful day, it turns out to more, and it just definitely disrupts their sleep patterns. And therefore, I've seen it. It affects their weight loss. So we all need to be mindful of that too. And now here's the other one, the sugar fix. And I am raising my hand right now and smiling because this was my guilty thing. Chocolate or any kind of sweet at 3 p.m., yes, because I need something sweet to get me through the rest of the day. Sugar gives a quick dopamine hit, but also spikes and crashes your blood sugar. Your cortisol definitely is not a good way to help with stress. This is a pretty big one too that I've seen, and actually not just with the sugar, but this next one, which is over exercising, especially when you're trying to lose weight and you're on your health journey. A lot of people have the misconception that I'm going to work out more. I have to work out an hour each day. I have to do this. That's not true. I've seen it to where you just do a little bit, adds up each day. You do not have to do a full marathon session at the gym. You don't even have to go to the gym to get a good workout. There are lots of things that you can do, and that will help you. But when you are already stressed and you over work out or over exercise, it's like putting gas on a fire. Your inflammation in your body already, it's not going to respond well at all. It's going to be even worse for you, and then there goes the cycle again of stress, chronic depletion. Your nutrients can't get absorbed, they're depleted. There's your minerals. There's so many things going on in your body without realizing it. So people think more workouts equals less stress. Not necessarily true. Sometimes you can work out, you can have a good workout if you are stressed. Like it's a good stress reliever. I've heard from women that they go to the gym. It's a stress reliever. It's my self-care time. I don't overdo it, but it's just a me time. Now that's okay. Everything in moderation. But I'm talking about like the marathons that you do, that you feel like you have to work out. Super long, and especially if you're not listening to your body and you already feel depleted, maybe it's okay to do some light stretches or some somatic exercises, meaning like some breathing with your exercises versus needing to do, go hard with cardio or strength training. So I really emphasize listening to your body and working with the energy that you have when it comes to if you know that you are stressed, if you had a bad day, anything like that. So more intense exercise is also a form of stress, of course. And without recovery, then you just add more to the pile. And another one is numbing with Netflix or social media, or yes, even work. You're not actually resting, you're really distracting your brain. The stress is still there, it's running in your background, and then it spills over into your day-to-day. And as time goes on, it gets worse and worse. So this is where I say, is it fine to maybe have like one day of binge or whatever? Maybe. But if it's something that you lean on as specifically a stress reliever, maybe after work, then that's not being productive. It's actually making everything worse because it's still going to be there. So this is where I like to use noticing and naming and kind of like, what is the emotion, feeling through it, working through it, kind of facing the stress or whatever it is head on, so you can actually deal with it and not have your body hold on to it and then it comes out in symptoms or any other ways that it comes out. Because trust me, your body holds on to things, emotional, mental. It comes out in physical ways though, through symptoms that our body is like yelling at us that we need to deal with this. It's not woo-woo. We actually do. It holds on to emotions. And this is one time where I would say if you are stressed and you're just using kind of like binging or anything as a distraction, I would advise that you maybe try to notice it and feel it head on and deal with it versus numbing out, because it's just going to make it worse in the long run. And you'll just be chronically depleted, and it could be, even cause for disease in the future. So you really don't want to use distraction, but you really want to fill into it. And then another one that I hear, especially from business owners and entrepreneurs, which is not good, by the way, but I do hear this a lot, is that I'll sleep when I'm dead. So pushing through fatigue, overbooking yourself, ignoring your body's signals, it's basically inviting burnout to move in. So we want to have boundaries. And I've talked about this in previous episodes and posts before on social media, that we have to have personal boundaries, personal and work boundaries. It is so important for our mental health, our emotional health, and physical health. If you want to be happy, have balance, we definitely have to get over that kind of people pleaser, or it's hard to say no. We have to have boundaries, healthy boundaries, and usually, hopefully, people that respect you and love you and want what's best for you will admire that quality in you and actually will respect that, hey, it's okay. I kind of wonder about those that actually don't respect others' boundaries. It really, especially when it comes to like family members, it makes me kind of like pause and step back and really like, okay, what's going on? What's going on that you don't have respect for my personal boundaries? But I digress. So that's another one, that you do not want to push through any fatigue that you have. Always listen to your body. I will always say that. Go with the energy of it, and that's going to help you in the long run. So those 5 things I see actually quite often in my day-to-day working with clients, and it's not something that that we should be leaning on. It's an unhealthy way to deal with stress. So what is a better way? Well, I have what's called a 5-minute reset method. So here's the thing. Managing stress does not have to be a huge lifestyle overhaul, but it does have to be consistent. And as with anything, consistency is always key. Even if it's 5 minutes each day, it really does add up. It's not a standalone, but it all works together as a whole. So I do teach my clients the 5-minute reset method, and it's a way to tell your body and your hormones, we're safe, you can stand down now. And you could do it anytime, anywhere. So whenever you need to, pause and plant. This is step 1. So just kind of pause and ground yourself. Stop what you're doing. Put your feet on the floor, notice your body in whatever space that you're in. So like how the chair feels, how your clothes feel, etc. Step number 2 is breathe low and slow. So that means inhale through your nose for a count of 4, exhale through your mouth for a count of 6, and do this for at least 1 to 2 minutes. And step 3 is redirect your senses. So we really want to involve all of our senses in this. So just kind of look around, name 3 things you see, 3 things you hear, 3 things you feel physically, like what's the temperature? Is there any texture like on your clothes? How does the ground feel? Things like that. And then last step is gentle movement. So roll your shoulders, stretch your neck, take a short walk, whatever that is, standing in place, walking, whatever. Movement tells your nervous system it's time to shift gears. So it's not about erasing the stress, Because again, your body will hold on to it. We have to actually face whatever it is going on. So it's not about erasing anything. It's just about switching your body on and off, like out of fight or flight and into a state where you can actually think clearly and respond instead of react. It's kind of like that rest and digest mode. So, all right, Hormone Hotties, here's your homework. For the next 7 days, pick one time in your day when you usually feel your stress will spike. Maybe it's right before work, during school pickup, before dinner, whatever that looks like to you. When you feel that tension building, pause and stop if you're able to, and do the 5-minute reset. Exactly as I described it, that's it. You'll be shocked at how much calmer your body feels and how much better your mood and digestion really respond when you give your nervous system just this little, kind of like it's a gift, just like you're gifting and you're loving on your nervous system each day. And it just takes 5 minutes out of your time. And I think everybody has 5 minutes, right? Especially to love our nervous system. I always say, like, even when you're stressed, you want to love on your adrenals. Well, love on your nervous system. It kind of actually goes hand in hand with that. So if today's episode hit home for you, share it with a friend who's also stuck in the cycle of managing stress in ways that aren't helping. And if you want more tools like the 5-minute reset, I have this in my signature program, Simply Feeling Good, period, where we go deeper into all the different facets or pillars of the health. And it's kind of like you can feel yourself without overwhelm. I've had great responses from women. All right, so go take that 5-minute break. Your hormones, your body, and your mind will really thank you, and I will see you on the next episode.
Thank you for tuning in to the Happy Hormones Coach podcast. I hope you found today's episode insightful and empowering. Remember, taking charge of your health is a journey, and I'm here to support you every step of the way. If you enjoyed this episode or any of the other episodes, please be sure to share, subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It does help me to reach more women like you who are striving for optimal health and happiness. And don't forget to follow me on social media for daily tips and inspiration. Until next time, stay healthy, stay happy, and keep thriving.